Howdy legends, Zephyr here and welcome back to another ProGuides Apex Legends video. Over the seasons, Apex has added more and more weapons into the game. This means that there are a whole range of combinations for players to choose from. But which are the most powerful? Stay tuned to find out our top 5 weapon combinations that you must try in your next game. Now for our question of the day. What is your favorite and least favorite gun to use in Apex? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 1, the Wingman Eva. This loadout is perfect for the ultra-aggressive run-and-gun style players. The Eva and the Wingman are both perfectly suited to getting in people's faces, dealing big damage, and getting out again. The Wingman, despite the ammo change, is still very strong. However, with the sniper ammo only stacking to 28, it can be harder to get enough ammo to play the game out in your inventory. That's why the Wingman pairs so well with the Eva 8 rather than a spray weapon. You can get away with 1 stack of shotgun ammo, so that just leaves extra room for more stacks of sniper ammo, as well as grenades and heals. The Wingman is still one of the most powerful guns in the game. Even in the sniper class, it has kept its 0 ADS movement penalty, meaning you can strafe incredibly quickly. We've all had our pants pulled down by a super striper Wingman user who 3-taps you. This is so powerful because the Wingman boasts very impressive damage stats, dealing 45 to the body and 97 to the head without a helmet. With the Skull Piercer, this base damage rises to 113 for a headshot. If you know how to use the Wingman, you can deal serious damage while not taking any yourself. On top of that, the Wingman can be used at mid and close range. One Wingman headshot can be the turning point in any fight. Then the Eva. With its strong damage and impressive fire rate, it's a great weapon for aggression. Especially with the Mastiff in the care package, it can't out-damage a Peacekeeper, but the Eva is a lot faster, making it more oppressive and more forgiving. Combined, these are deadly and aggressive. Looking for help with weapon selection in Apex Legends? ProGuides has everything you need to supercharge your gameplay to the next level. From detailed in-game knowledge to guides and specialist coaches, whatever your gameplay needs, we've got you covered. Why not sit down with an Apex Predator and get direct feedback on your gameplay? Perhaps ask them which weapons they use and why. Check out the link in the description and let's go. Number 2, the Hemlock and the Prowler. We've long mentioned that these two weapons are a great pair, and this is more true than ever. Unchanged for some while, the Hemlock boasts impressive damage. Each bullet hits for 20 to the body, and it fires 3 shots at a time. This is higher damage than the Flatline. This means for someone on a purple shield, 3 bursts to the body is enough to take them down. If you can find a boosted loader and reload in the sweet spot, you can have as many as 36 shots in your magazine. That's a lot of damage potential before reloading. Plus, the Hemlock can be switched to single fire mode. I personally use this when I'm shooting at long distances and poking to get my Evo shield up. The 3-round burst tends to really spread out over a very long range, but in single fire mode, you can poke much further. However, where the Hemlock struggles is up close. This is why using the Prowler alongside the Hemlock makes for a perfect combination. Another burst weapon, the Prowler is a major favorite of controller players and can do some serious damage. The Prowler has always been pretty nasty close range. Its hipfire is very accurate. Then, Apex introduced laser sights. If you haven't experienced a purple laser sight on the Prowler, then literally sprint to the range right now and look at it. It is insane. The bullets have literally 0 spread, and the weapon will mow people down at close range. Each bullet hits for 14 damage, and with 5 rounds per burst, 4 bursts to the body can kill someone on a max red Evo. But crucially, 1 burst can do 70 damage. That means that it is a very viable alternative to a shotgun, especially with the incredibly high accuracy. If you've already cracked someone with the Hemlock, you can close in on your target and kill them in 1 to 2 bursts nice and quickly. However, if they've already healed, the Prowler's impressive damage means it can finish the job fast. Both these weapons sync together perfectly and bring out the best in one another. Number 3, the G7 Scout and the Turbo Havoc. This is a combination that's been pioneered by Energy Sweet Dreams. On paper, it doesn't make sense. Almost all our combinations follow a tried and tested formula. 1 longer ranged weapon, 1 short range weapon. The Scout is a long range weapon, but the Havoc is an AR. So how does it work? First, the Scout is possibly the best long range weapon this season. It does huge damage and has a very good fire rate. It has weak hip fire, but you can absolutely melt people. Even better is that your ammo usage on this weapon is a lot lower, meaning you can carry more grenades, heals, or ammo for a secondary. Step forward, the Turbo Havoc. Now, straight away, let's make it clear that this setup won't work without the turbochargers. The spin-up time that the Havoc has simply won't let it be used as a secondary. But with that attachment, the Havoc actually makes a great pair with the G7. It can be used at range, which means it can be used at that awkward mid-range issue you have with the Scout. The hip fire is so poor that at 10 to 30 meters, you're a bit stuck. Perhaps too far for a shotgun, but way too close for the Scout. So the Havoc fixes that issue, especially if you only use a 1x optic. Then the Havoc does very high damage, 18 body and 32 to the head. It has better DPS than the Flatline and the Eva 8. The hipfire spread is also pretty good, especially for an AR. You can surprisingly use this weapon at close range and shred people, then also use it at that mid-range. In that regard, it is better than a Prowler, R9, or a shotgun. Sometimes Energy Suite runs double Turbo Havoc, one with a 2 or 3 times optic and then one with a 1x or a no optic version. The Havoc is just that good. This is a slightly left field suggestion, but let us know what you think if you've tried it. Number 4, the G7 Scout and Volt. Once again, we're suggesting the Scout. It's just simply that good. However, for those situations where you can't find a turbo, another energy weapon is a great choice. This means you can easily swap around if you find a turbo with the same magazine and ammo type to boot. Step forward, the Volt. Finally, back on the ground, the Volt is deadly at close range. Even after the removal of barrel stabilizers, it is also much better at mid-range than the Prowler, Car, or R99. This helps it work with the G7 in the same way as the Havoc. But with a laser sight, the Volt shreds at close range. It deals 15 to the body and 23 to the head with a really strong DPS overall. What is especially good about the Volt is that it has flexibility. It's a lot easier to control than the R99 and Car when using it a bit further away, especially if you're tracking someone moving to one side. The R99's higher fire rate can hinder it in those situations. Absolutely try the Volt if you haven't. Number 5, the Flatline and the Peacekeeper. We couldn't possibly finish this video without suggesting the Flatline. The Flatline does 18 damage to the body, and you can easily one-clip someone who has a red shield. Just 13 body shots are needed to do so. Even the sturdiest of legends such as Gibraltar, Newcastle, and Caustic, who have the fortified passive, meaning they take less damage, can only survive 15 body shots of a Flatline with the best possible shields. Plus, unlike any other weapon, you don't need to have an extended mag to have firepower. The default Flatline has 20 shots in the mag. With a purple or gold extended magazine, you can theoretically slay 2 legends without reloading. The Flatline is good at all ranges and has impressive hipfire abilities as well. It does have some noticeable recoil, but once you learn to control the Flatline, it is deadly. Then, for pure damage output, what is better than the PK? Apex has moved away from Gibraltar a bit, so there are less bubble fights, but the ability to deal 100 damage or more in a single pump will always be incredibly powerful. You could peek from behind cover and immediately have someone's health, and no gun is going to do better than that. This is a very sturdy setup, spray, and pump. The Flatline deals big damage, and the Peacekeeper can finish someone off with ease.